Jared, was there a pivotal moment for you and Dustin when you guys knew you were onto something big? Like when did you have this aha moment? Like we've got real potential here.
Yeah, most certainly. There's been a few moments when we knew we wanted a franchise is when we were competing with people that had been in our market for 20 plus years ahead of us and receiving that best of Omaha, as I had mentioned, years on end. We're like, wow, our name is right there in the headlines with the best of the best. And we were able to do it in just a few years. When we really notice this. It's our senior focused care approach of saying like, hey, we are doing it differently and we are able to gain that kind of traction quickly in a market. Like it's time to spread that
Yeah.
to the US and to so many more communities where people can take advantage of that senior focused care approach. It still hasn't even quite hit me yet with our current growth, but internally and something personally that really hit me, that made me know I was doing something right and that our company was really helping people was when I had a chance to go back and talk to, I'd received my EMBA from University of Nebraska at Omaha. And went back and talked to a cohort a few years later, and presented, to them. And after I was done, somebody came up to me who I did not know and thanked me. They said, I need to thank you. Yeah, without you, I wouldn't be here today. And I'm okay. Yeah, tell me more. I said, well,
Mm,
a place at home has been taking care of my mom for the last year and a half. And without their support, I wouldn't have been able to go and get my education and try to achieve the goals that I once had because I've been the
wow.
primary caregiver for so long. So without a place at home, I wouldn't be here. And at this time, we had already started franchising. I did not at that time get to know every single client and their family like I once did. But it most certainly was an eye-opening experience and something that drove us to say, yep, we're doing the right thing.
That's a pivotal moment for sure when you have that experience with the client and realizing what good you're doing for people. This is not just a great business opportunity, but you're making a difference in people's lives, not just the person who's being taken care of, but the people who are around them, like this person. That's phenomenal. You're in a very crowded space, let's face it, right? There's a lot of competition. And you mentioned being unique and being different. Maybe you could share with me and share with the audience a little bit. What do you think has stood out that has really made you guys different in such a crowded field?
Yeah, most certainly. So we call it our senior focused care approach. So it's a comprehensive senior care model. Tries to encompass the entire aging journey in home care. All right.
Mm-hmm.
We're not doing everything for everybody. We're not going outside of our wheelhouse or our core competencies within our foundation of in-home care. We're just utilizing the people and the resources and the referral community that we grow in different ways to add value to our clients and to add value to our franchisees through multiple revenue streams. So, as I mentioned, built on a foundation of in-home care. And within in-home care, we have a lot of specialty programs of things that make that service stand alone, amongst the best of the best of what you can receive in the home. But outside of that, we provide care coordination. So this is outside care, really outside of the home, extending to providers and really just coordinating to make sure that the client has a smooth transition through their aging process. Dr. A and hospitalist C and the geriatrician all are on the same page. And after a hospitalization, we have the right medical records and the right treatment of care going forward and the right follow-up. We're just connecting all the dots as a
Okay.
liaison, as a coordinator, right? So that's our care coordinate service line. Third, we have what we call senior living alternatives. So if home is no longer an option, if somebody cannot stay at home, usually physically, financially, or mentally, someone could be driven into more of a community style living. We provide them with those alternatives, right? And that is known as placement services within the industry, but it's like a real estate agent for our clients to help them find the best next living option. And then we do receive a referral fee from those communities when they move in. And then lastly, we also provide staffing solutions, primarily to other senior facilities, independent assisted living, long-term care communities, your kind of quote unquote nursing homes, doctor's offices, home health, you name it. Anybody that has CNAs, home health aides, companions, we help to staff their needs. And so it's a comprehensive approach, as I mentioned, for the seniors. And this is where it gets to be one level bit more kind of in the weeds, but so important is that we have that many more resources in the community. So
Mm-hmm.
when we go out to our referral sources, we have a different pitch. We're able to help someone like an assisted living keep people in their homes through in-home care and care coordination, their home being that apartment within that assisted living. We're able to help the community that we're approaching for those referrals by filling their beds through our senior living alternatives program, right, which increases their occupancy. And lastly, if that same community is having problems staffing, we can help fill in our great trained qualified staff to go in and be as if they are one of the employees of that assisted living. So when we go into these referral communities, which our industry is very much referral based, we have a different message, we have a different approach, and we can help them as much as they can help us.
Sweet. That's awesome, Jerod. Okay, let's talk franchising and get into this franchise story. First off, what made you guys even decide to franchise?
Boy, I've got all sorts of stories for you, but I'll try to make this as short as possible. When I got my undergrad in business administration, real estate, and entrepreneurship, they shone a very negative light on franchising. The university, the professors, they say, hey, you know what? You're going to lose control. You're going to lose consistency. You may have rogue franchisees. You're going to get lower margin, right? Like, stay independent, grow yourself, maximize your margins, have the control you need. That was a message I came into my entrepreneurial life with, right? And so I was a little standoffish, franchising. I don't know. And it seems like a lot of the other big players are doing it. So they must have something going right for them. But also, I'm kind of a trailblazer. I don't necessarily want to follow the route of others. I want to kind of blaze my
Sure.
own trail to some degree. So I'm willing to kind of
Right.
push the boundaries and the norms and try to look at other approaches to doing it. My business partner, he very much franchising. Absolutely. Let's move forward. Wanted a franchise. And so we had kind of this push and pull between what is the right method of growth. And I'm glad we did, because it drove us to get our ducks in a row, right? To make sure we had everything we needed to be successful to scale
Mm-hmm.
and to grow into franchising. But at the very end of the day, the thing that finally was a tipping point of to moving into franchising versus independent, we wanted people with stake in the game. Right? We wanted kind of
That's
the mayor of
huge.
their community, someone who has an impact or wants to make an impact in their local areas, that are willing to be kind of the face and the billboard of the brand. And lastly, but most importantly, right, do what it takes to care for their clients and their caregivers. And
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, we really found that people with ownership are those who are going to go that extra mile. And so that's what
Yeah.
pushed us into franchising.
Yeah. The professors didn't mention that part.
Oh, no.
The power of the state, people having a stake in the business and your ability to scale. And quite honestly, your franchisees that you're going to bring on board are probably going to be a whole lot more qualified and just be overall have a better skill set than the employees you could have afforded, when you're starting
Certainly.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, a lot of it, we don't figure that out until we start franchising, that typically happens. Jerod, so how many franchises do you guys have now? Franchise locations throughout the US?
So right now we have 46 open locations with an additional 6 that are launching.
And how many states are you
That
guys in now?
right now we are in 20 states.
What's the most exciting part for you guys of being this, being an emerging franchisor? I mean, you guys are, what you've got in the 40s now. So you got out of the, it's tough. The first dozen, it's tough to get through, but you've done that. You've done that with flying colors now. So what's exciting right now for you guys as an emerging franchisor?
What's exciting is just the power that we're seeing in our brand, really being able to have people recognize us, even in markets that we're not there yet. We are actively receiving inquiries about franchising in different locations. Our number one sales tool is our website, and organically finding people who are wanting to build a franchise in senior care that are reaching out to us directly. That
Mm-hmm.
was not the case 2 years ago. That wasn't anywhere near the case, when we were launching, and we were doing everything but like opening a phone book and calling every name in there to try to get a franchise, or at least people interested. So that is, the power with the brand. Most certainly is exciting, but also just the growth potential that we have. Our franchise owners are amazing. We do a really good job on the development side of vetting and bringing in really qualified people.
Mm-hmm.
It is special to be a part of this brand, and we have gates up and not everybody gets in. So those who we do have, their culture and the community that they are bringing and growing with us is fantastic, along with the support system. And so if anything, I mean, we've created something much bigger than us, and it's
Right.
continuing to grow. And, with our franchise owners and just their collaboration, and, it's something, again, just something bigger than us that's grown. I'd say that's been kind of one of the most fun things and the exciting things to be a part of.
Thank you for tuning into the Emerging Franchise Brands podcast. For additional insights, guest applications, and to stay connected, visit us at efbpodcast.com. The Emerging Franchise Brands podcast is for entertainment purposes only, and the views expressed do not necessarily represent those of Emerging Franchise Brands, its host Frank Fiume, or Emerging Franchise Group, LLC. Any discussed franchise or investment opportunity requires thorough investigation, obtaining proper disclosure documents, and expert consultation before making any investment decisions. The podcast and its host do not offer professional advice or endorsements, and they hold no responsibility for actions, representations, accuracy, or consequential damages related to the podcast content.